Grim Reapers are supernatural beings that collect souls after they have passed on. All Grim Reapers were originally humans that had committed suicide. As a punishment, they become Grim Reapers, where they have to collect souls until they are forgiven. They are forbidden from interfering in human affairs, and they are all given a soul retrieval list that is given to them by their higher-ups. The list contains extensive information on each soul, including their cause of death. A Grim Reaper's principal role is to check the cinematic record of the soul. Then they must decide whether that person may live or die. If they decide that the person must die, the Grim Reaper will use their death sight to sever the body's memories and soul. They would then stamp completed next to the person's name on the list. If a Grim Reaper makes a mistake or breaks any rule during their mission, they must return to HQ with an apology letter. If the crime they committed is severe, then they may receive punishment such as suspension. If a Grim Reaper retires, then their soul retrieval list and death sight would be confiscated. Grim Reapers are prohibited from killing humans that are not on their respective list. Interfering with life and death in the human world is also prohibited. Grim Reapers have a strong hatred for demons, which is mutual. This is because demons get in the way of meticulous work by devouring souls. Grim Reapers have similar hearing and strength to humans. They also require sleep and food. However, all Grim Reapers have the same green and yellow eyes, and they all wear glasses. Grim Reapers are more agile than humans, and they can endure attacks that could kill a human. The four Grim Reapers that appear repeatedly in the anime are Grell Sutcliffe, William T. Spears, Ronald Knox, and Undertaker. Grell is a part of the retrieval division of the Grim Reaper Dispatch. They are covered in red from head to toe, which is not allowed as Grim Reapers are only allowed to wear black. They have shark-like teeth, and their iconic red coat was originally Madame Red's coat, but they stole it after they killed her. Grell modified their death sight to be a chainsaw as they believe that the original design for the death sight is old-fashioned. When Grell was pretending to be Madame Red's butler, they had brown hair that was tied back in a ribbon, and they wore a dark suit. Grell is a very striking individual who's completely upfront about their desires. They adore the color red as they believe that it's the ultimate beauty. They have no patience for people who are bogged down with their emotions, which is why they kill Madame Red. Grell was completely dismissive of some of the rules, such as staying out of human affairs. After they got suspended, they started to respect the rules more, though occasionally, Grell will break the rules accidentally. Grell enjoys making theatrical references as they describe Madame Red's death as falling of curtains, and they compare themselves and Sebastian to Romeo and Juliet. They also refer to Sebastian as Bassie in the English dub and Sebastian in the sub. We first see Grell in Season 1, Episode 2, as they pretend to be a butler. However, they ditch the disguise after Ciel and Sebastian discover that Grell and Madame Red are both Jack the Ripper. Sebastian asked Grell why they went against their Grim Reaper code, and they responded by saying that they were captivated by Madame Red. Sebastian is frustrated at Grell as they went against both the Grim Reaper and Butler code, which inspires Grell to call himself the Butler of Death. The two fight until Sebastian notices that Ciel is in trouble as Madame Red goes to kill him, but she hesitates. She explains to Grell that she does not want to hurt Ciel because she sees him as her son. As a result, Grell kills her, and they are clearly disappointed as they call her an ordinary woman. Ciel orders Sebastian to kill Grell, so the two resume their fight. Grell uses their death sight to slash Sebastian across the chest, revealing his cinematic record, though, to Grell's dismay, it just shows his mundane life as a butler. Sebastian uses a piece of his tailcoat to jam Grell's death sight, making it no longer work. Sebastian is about to kill Grell, but William interrupts them, and he takes Grell with him so he can pay for his crimes. His punishment is that he is suspended from being a Grim Reaper. We see Grell briefly in Book of Circus as they are no longer suspended. Their list of souls was to be collected at the Phantom Hive Manor, which excited Grell as they believed that they would be reunited with Sebastian. We then see Grell in Book of Atlantic as they had been assigned to collect souls from the Campania with Ronald. The two can be seen replicating the famous pose from the Titanic, but Ronald reminds him that they have to get back to work as they had over 1,000 souls to collect. As well as collecting souls, the two were tasked with looking into the bizarre dolls that are seemingly being reanimated. The two kill multiple dolls, and Grell complains about how many of them there are. They go to the second-class restaurant where they find Sebastian, Ciel, and Lizzie. Grell once again fights Sebastian where they accidentally slash a window, which breaks it, and water comes gushing in. Grell goes to continue the fight. They overhear Ciel tell Sebastian about Rion, the man behind the dolls. Grell and Ronald go to find him in the first-class passenger lounge. Once there, Rion falls due to the ship tilting, but Grell is able to catch him. They ask how they could stop the dolls, and Rion tells them about a device that could stop all the dolls. The three of them go to his cabin but discover that the device has been stolen. They find that the device had been taken by Undertaker, who is actually a retired Grim Reaper. Sebastian, Grell, and Ronald fight Undertaker, but no one is killed, though the latter three are all badly wounded. After the ship fully sinks, William finds Grell and Ronald in the ocean, and he tells them that they must report the souls they collected and Undertaker to HQ. William T. Spears has short, neatly combed hair and is usually seen in a dark suit. During Book of Circus, he can be seen wearing a glittery blazer as well as a green waistcoat and a polka dot tie. His death sight is an extendable pruner. William is a very dignified individual who strictly follows the rules of the Grim Reapers. He gets annoyed when he has to work overtime or apologize for someone else's mistake. He believes that demons are disgusting creatures, and he uses nicknames such as Hound and Vermin when referring to Sebastian. In Season 1, we first see William in Episode 6, where he dramatically lands on Grell's head and lists off all the rules that they had been broken. He gives Sebastian his business card, though he acts coldly towards him. He comments that he respects him slightly for being in a contract with CL. Then he drags Grell away by the hair. In Book of Circus, William and Sebastian reunite as they have both infiltrated the circus of performers. William had been given the nickname Suit, and when he sees Sebastian, he immediately shows a disgust towards him. He openly talks about Reapers and demons even though one of the first stringers, Dagger, was with them. Dagger luckily takes it as a joke, calling him a hardcore occult fan. After Dagger leaves, William explains to Sebastian that he is at the circus because he needs to prepare for a special case. Sebastian offers to help, but William holds up his death sight threateningly. After CL approaches them, William agrees that they will not get in the way of each other. Joker and Dagger reveal that William and Sebastian will share a tent, and CL will have a tent with someone else entirely. This is because Dagger believed that Sebastian and William were friends. In their tent, William draws a line on the ground, which separates his side of the tent and Sebastian's side of the tent. That night, Sebastian tries to sneak out, but William stops him because he does not want a demon to have complete free will. The next day, one of the performers gets an injury, and as a result, Sebastian and William had to perform in one of the shows. Sebastian tries to sneak out again, and William goes to stop him, but this time he lets him go as CL orders Sebastian to go out. After CL and Sebastian burnt down the Kelvin Manor, William collects the souls of those who have died there, and he is glad that he was there instead of Grell as they would have been distracted by Sebastian. William and Ronald jump into the fire to collect the remaining souls. We see William at the end of Book of the Atlantic, where he fishes Grell and Ronald out of the ocean. Grell is delighted to see him, and they go to hug William, but he steps to the side, and Grell falls into the water. Ronald is a young man who has both blonde and black hair. He has thick black glasses and a watch on his wrist. He occasionally can be seen wearing a hat. Ronald's death sight resembles a lawnmower that has the words death sight engraved on the front. Ronald is very carefree and is usually tardy. He tries to finish his work as soon as possible, and he believes that William and Grell have easier jobs. Ronald is very social and enjoys partying. In Book of Atlantic, he can be seen mingling with some of the lower class passengers. We first see Ronald at the end of Book of Circus as he collects the souls from the Kelvin Manor with William. Ronald complains as he believes that Grell got the easier job, and William questions if he was allowed to use his lawnmower death sight. Ronald responds by informing him that he has a friend who works in the General Affairs Department. In Book of Atlantic, Ronald greets Mayrin before he gets onto the Campania by placing a hand on her shoulder. He asks where the second-class entrance is, and she points him in the right direction. Ronald offers to have tea with her later, but she declines as she is just there to see CL off. Ronald gets on the ship just before boarding closes. As he has time to spare, Ronald has drinks with third-class passengers, specifically Sophie Smith, who is clearly interested in him. Ronald checks his watch and announces that he has to leave as he has work to do. Sophie says that she will have a drink with him tomorrow, and he responds by saying that they could do so if she is alive the next time they meet, which confuses her. Ronald rushes to the Aurora Society meeting room and sees CL and Sebastian attempting to kill one of the dolls. Ronald informs them that they can only be stopped by destroying the brain, which he shows them by obliterating the doll's head with his death sight. Ronald introduces himself to Sebastian as he recognized him as the butler that Grell is interested in. He doesn't want Sebastian to interfere with his work, so the two get in a fight. The two battled for a while, and Ronald is able to cut Sebastian's cheek with a knife as he believes that a Grim Reaper only using their death sight as a weapon is old-fashioned. He checks his watch once again. He realizes that he is running late, and he quickly leaves, which confuses Sebastian. Ronald once again complains about having to work overtime. The ship hits an iceberg, and Ronald works alongside Grell to avoid overtime. When Undertaker was a Grim Reaper, he was one of the best in his division. He grew bored of the process, and he attempted an escape but failed. He tried again and was successful. Sometime later, he established his funeral parlor, which is around the time he meets Vincent Phantomhive. The final Grim Reaper highlighted in the show is the Undertaker, who's a retired Grim Reaper that is now a funeral director and a Phantomhive informant. He has long gray hair as well as a braid on the right side of his head. He has black fingernails and a scar across his face. He is often seen in a black robe with a gray scarf and prayer beads around his neck. Undertaker's death sight is a curved silver blade that is being held by a skeleton. Undertaker is an eccentric and odd individual who is consistently seen laughing, even when he shouldn't be. He calls the corpse he receives guests, and he enjoys being inside coffins. He is obsessed with the Phantom Hives, and he has attempted to resurrect them for years. This leads to the creation of the Bizarre Dolls, and he believes they are beautiful. He also sees Ciel as his masterpiece. We first see Undertaker in Season 1, Episode 4, where Grell, Madame Red, Lau, Ciel, and Sebastian visit him to find information on Jack the Ripper. He says that he will give him information if they compensate him, which translates to him wanting them to tell him a joke. Lau and Madame Red try but fail, and Undertaker says that it's Ciel's turn. Sebastian intervenes and tells them all to go outside. He makes Undertaker laugh hysterically, and he agrees to tell them what they want to know. He gives them all the information he has on the case. After the murders have been solved, Undertaker talks to Ciel and shows sympathy for him as the Queen's guard dog. Ciel informs that his family is trapped in this fate, and Undertaker tells him that he should be careful as one day could be his downfall. In Book of Circus, Ciel and Sebastian visit the funeral parlor, once again looking for information. This time, however, Undertaker requests that Ciel needs to be the one to tell the joke, which he agrees to. A lot of time passed, but eventually Undertaker laughed and gave them the information they needed. Undertaker can next be seen watching the Kelvin Manor burn down, and he comments that Ciel will understand the importance of souls and other things that cannot be recovered once they are gone. Along with the other Grim Reapers, Undertaker boards the Campania and attends the Aurora Society meeting. He laughs at Ciel when he sees them perform the Phoenix pose, and when he questions why he is there, Undertaker explains that the hospital is a regular client of his. Undertaker is later seen carrying a device into the first class lounge. They all do the Phoenix pose, and Rian tries to turn the device on, but it fails, and Undertaker laughs hysterically. He reveals to them all that he was once a Grim Reaper, and Ciel presses him for information. He tells them about his experiments and how the bizarre dolls exist. Grell and Ronald go to attack him, but they aren't able to harm him. Sebastian joins the fight, and the three go in at once to attack him. Grell destroys his soda bar, and Undertaker removes Ronald's glasses. Sebastian uses the utensils to go against Undertaker, and he mocks him as he believes his death sight will destroy his weapons easily. Undertaker badly injured Grell, and Ronald and Sebastian go in to attack, but he takes Ciel as a hostage. Sebastian lunges at him, and Undertaker tosses Ciel aside. Sebastian reaches for Ciel, but he cannot grab him, and Undertaker impales him with his death sight, which reveals his cinematic record. Sebastian catches him just when his cinematic record finishes, and Undertaker comments that he knew that Sebastian could save Ciel. Still, he believes that he would make Ciel miserable, so he decides to kill him anyway. Before he can, the Campania starts to sink, and Grell fights Undertaker once more. Undertaker recognizes him as Madame Red's butler, and calls him out as they also mess with human lives. Grell comments that he's nosy and doesn't leave even after Undertaker tells him that they ran out of time. Grell and Sebastian try to attack him again, but he dodges, and he drops a chain of lockets, which Ciel picks up. He tells Ciel to keep it safe, and he splits the ship in half with his death sight and leaves. Thank you all for indulging yourselves in all this information thus far. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, there are a few more things that I'd like to go over before the video ends. Firstly, if you're in the mood for some great storytelling, We the Celestials has got you covered. Our We the Celestials My Hero Academia and Naruto What If channels retell the story of their namesake anime with a twist. Check it out if you're interested.